The Afro Simper get in, man.
Hello, YouTube. My name is KRSG48_R Gaming, and I would like to say thank you to everyone who decided to tune in to see upon my annual birthday update video. Okay, for this video, this is recorded the morning of my birthday, which is December 28th, which I would have really loved and hoped for you guys to be able to watch this video upon my birthday, considering when I want to upload this video. But however, I was just too lazy to do that, and so I started to do something else entirely, which was not what I was supposed to do. Okay, but listen, things are changing. Okay, part of the things that are changing is the fact that I do want to go ahead and address the biggest elephant in the room here when it comes to the gaming space, because there's a big shift that is happening, and I'm gonna let this man speak for itself.
Do we think it's gonna stick the landing of a 9 or higher? Is it worth it? Because I'm not gonna lie, and you can clip this. When this game comes out, if it doesn't stick that landing and it's a generational game where it's getting nothing but 9s and 10s, shit, a 9.5, nigga, or higher, I am going to present the conversation. Is Grand Theft Auto detrimental to the industry? They don't pay their employees. They're not innovating. I stand on that. Grand Theft Auto is still popular because you niggas is too pussy to gangbang in real life, so you do it on the fucking game. Bunch of keyboard crips and broadband bloods. Y'all are keeping them servers alive. Niggas who failed at rapping, y'all in the studio on the T Grizzly server. Nothing is too big to fail. I cannot stress that enough. Never say never. That's what Justin Bieber said. Let's not forget what happened with Kingdom Hearts.
Now, the two clips that you guys just saw, they are both courtesy of a world-renowned content creator by the name of the Black Hokage. And I just want to go ahead and emphasize that this is the main, there is such a very huge issue that's going on within the gaming space that I just don't necessarily think that enough people are talking about it. Because there are people who talk about this, but is there enough people who talk about it? That part I don't know, because within one of those clips, I'm sure you have witnessed his take about Grand Theft Auto 6. And in case you wasn't listening, I'll go ahead and do you the courtesy of reminding you or telling you what it was. You have a company that is going to release a game that plenty of people know is going to go ahead and break the records just off of the name of the IP alone. But however, if the issue that you have with it being delayed, and you say that you don't necessarily care that the workers are being properly compensated for their work in creating the game that you have been fucking anticipating for the past 5 years or so, then that is 100% a complete you problem. Okay? The problem is just as big as Donald Trump being in office and him also being in the Epstein files, as he is being claimed to be the dog that never barked. Now, if you don't know what the dog who hasn't barked means, that is a callback to Sherlock Holmes and about whether or not something being stolen within the investigation was an inside job or not. Because the dog was going to bark because he didn't know the motherfucker. The dog didn't bark when the horse was stolen because the dog knew the motherfucker. So we have a situation where the motherfucker knows the other motherfucker and is allowing the other motherfucker to do some shit, and he's turning a blind eye. He's turning a blind eye. But what does he want to do instead? He wants to write out an executive order upon the use of AI and it not being regulated, because that's essentially what is happening with them trying to build another AI center for Meta. And I just want to go ahead and get this out of the way before we continue on with politics, which, by the way, politics is Hollywood for ugly people. You heard it here first. And secondly, earlier this month, we have Expedition 33 winning award after award after award, and it got the haters, known as the Silk Song people, upset with their panties in a twisty bunch, simply because of the fact that this game has gone ahead and it has won award after award after award at the Game Awards. It was nominated for the most amount of Game Awards in Game Awards history, and it walked away with about 9 of them. It was nominated for 12, and you walked away with 9. I just want y'all to understand that they have a lot more, the people who made this game, they have a lot more professionalism when it comes to accepting awards. Because, you know, me personally, if I was one of them, I would go ahead and I would say thank you for Ubisoft for not believing in me, because now I'm able to stand upon this stage and accept this award to show that anything is possible. But because you don't want to believe in my very own creativity, this award is for me and not for Ubisoft. Because all of those, the developers of Expedition 33, they were former Ubisoft developers, okay? Now, you're probably wondering why I'm talking about this after I just pivoted from the whole Donald Trump situation, okay? We're going to get back to that. Okay? But I just need to go ahead and let y'all know that in terms of financial dire, okay, Ubisoft and Yves Gramont, I am speaking to you. You would not have been in this situation that you are currently in right now, where you needed an Obama-sized bailout from Tencent, while also having Assassin's Creed by your side, because your fans have been asking for Assassin's Creed to go to Japan for the longest time, and we didn't get that until you was in financial dire. So if I could go ahead and I would like to say a prediction, go ahead, tell the Black Hokage to ring that bell. You have For Honor in your portfolio, within the whole catalog of the games that you've made. Okay, that's what we're talking about. You have For Honor, which was a very unique game. I don't know how long it's going to take for us to get a For Honor 2. Okay? And honestly, that's going to require more work, because you have to hire people to build something from the ground up and try and make it better, versus just continuing to hoard out content for live service games. Okay? And I'm not going to pivot on live service games just yet. But Sony, I will come back to you. We're not going to pivot there yet, but Sony, I will get back to you on that. Because Ubisoft has had Rainbow Six Siege X. I'm not entirely sure what exactly a whole overhaul of the game was supposed to do for me, because I would have much rather prefer that we had a proper sequel to the game. That's just something that I would most prefer to have, is a proper sequel to a game. rather than just to continue to hoard out this one game over and over and over again. Because eventually we're going to want something new and refreshing, okay? And that's probably why, with my prediction, we won't necessarily get another Splinter Cell game until Ubisoft is once again in financial dire and they cannot get an Obama-sized bailout. That is my prediction. I don't necessarily want to speak this into the air, but considering with what has happened with Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed Shadows, that is something that I do see, and it's very unfortunate because of the fact that Expedition 33 was made by former Ubisoft developers, okay? And that is the reason why, if we are going to get another Splinter Cell game, it more than likely will not happen until Ubisoft is once again in financial dire. And that is the cold-hearted truth. That honestly, that seems to be the most likely thing that Yves Guillemot would actually like to do. That seems like something you would actually like to do. Wait until we're in financial dire. It's like, okay, damn, okay, fine, damn. Here you go, your Splinter Cell. You see, Ubisoft is afraid of money. And as a company, being afraid of money is going back on your ninja way. Naruto will be ashamed of you, just like how Naruto will be ashamed of Sony. But we won't get to Sony. Ubisoft, Naruto will be disappointed in you due to the fact that underneath the Trump administration, you decide to play it like Ubisoft and release a statement out to the public saying that you would go ahead and work on Assassin's Creed Salem Witch Trials Edition versus Assassin's Creed Jim Crow Edition. I honestly don't even know. Because here's the thing. And I'm going to pivot back to Donald Trump. That's going to make everything that I'm talking about with Ubisoft make a whole lot more sense. We have a president that is a convicted felon in the White House. And on top of that, this man is blocking the release of the Epstein files. And he's creating all of these different distractions to go ahead and remove, or more specifically, to move the goalpost with his 99 overall on 2K into shifting the conversation towards something else. Now, believe it or not, why exactly we're going to war with Venezuela and seizing their oil and whatnot? Because he said that they were talking about drugs and whatnot. I don't know what oil has to do with drugs. Actually, no, scratch that. I know exactly what oil has to do with everything. It is the diet of America. Yes, people, America's diet is oil. America's diet is oil. America will go ahead and use their propaganda to create a whole assortment of things, whether it be true or false narratives, just so that they can be able to get their hands on that oil. And if they don't gotta pay for it, that's all the better for them. That is the reason why we're doing all of this. It is for oil. Venezuela has the highest number of tons of oil in barrels, like barrels of oil and whatnot, however you manage to calculate that. Yeah, they have the highest degree of it. They have the highest amount. That is why America wants to beef with Venezuela. It has nothing to do with them bringing in drugs that isn't even from Venezuela, okay? The cocaine that a former president that was convicted of selling here in America, that got a pardon from Donald Trump, that cocaine doesn't come from Venezuela. It comes from Mexico. Okay, you can find that more in Mexico than you can find in Venezuela. It doesn't necessarily come from Venezuela. But the truth of the matter is the fact that if all you had to do was to write a letter to Donald Trump if you are convicted of a crime, to say that it was thanks to the administration of Biden that you are in this position, calling Donald Trump your highness, then you're able to go ahead and get a pardon. Now, I don't know what's more crazier. The fact that a convicted drug trafficking person that was also a former president got a pardon for selling drugs, or the fact that a former president was selling drugs. Because you see, at least Walter White had a teacher's salary. That's the difference. You are the president of a particular country, okay? And correct me if I'm wrong, because I've never even stated what country this person was a president of. But however, the fact of the matter is that if it is truly that easy to get a pardon from Donald Trump, I want you to understand something. And by understanding it, I want you to keep it far away from 50 Cent as humanly possible. I don't think Diddy knows how to read or write. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and pivot one more time. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and talk my shit, okay? Because that's exactly what I would have done if I was the lead designer, developer for the creation of Expedition 33, who won 9 awards at the Game Awards, okay? I would have definitely talked my shit. Like, I would like to thank Ubisoft for not believing in me, because now I have a chance to showcase that anything is possible. And the fact that this is something that we done together, we have more ownership than we would have had dealing with Ubisoft. So thank you to Ubisoft for letting us go, because now we're able to create the game that we actually want to make. And that's very powerful. Just as powerful as not accepting a $50 million deal from Hollywood, because Dave Chappelle and Cat Williams, they denied that. And it's simple, okay? Now, I've explained that politics is Hollywood for ugly people. And if I didn't, I'm going to go ahead and say it again right here. Politics is Hollywood for ugly people. Now that we got that understood, Hollyweird is where, you know, you got your Diddy's and other different celebrities and whatnot. And the thing is the fact that when you go ahead and you try to accept this $50 million deal, it comes with a price tag, okay? The name of the artist is escaping me at this time, but the artist who created the song Monsters in My Closet, her name starts with an S. Her name starts with an S. But however, trust me, everything that came with the whole expensive life and, you know, being a top tier celebrity, like having so much fame and whatnot, it definitely came with a price. And a lot of times the price is getting fucked over, which is an abusive relationship that a lot of gamers are in right now. They're in an abusive relationship. Mainly with 2K, but you know, 2K is a trash ass game, so fuck 2K. But also the abusive relationship of these Sony ponies. Yeah, that's right, Sony. It's time for me to go on your ass. It's time for me to go on your ass. Because I understand that you own Crunchyroll, and this is why I said Naruto will be super fucking upset with you. Because of the fact that, you feel me? You said that you wanted more live service games, but you let Concord out to fail. You spent almost $4 billion on Destiny. Halo was not included in that deal, but you're still getting Halo out of pity because 343 Industries, they're underneath Microsoft, and Microsoft wants to make more money. So you're getting Halo out of pity. Okay, but however, it is your fault that you did not audit Bungie in that purchase, because you paid $4 billion basically for Destiny 2 at the tail end of it. $4 billion for the tail end of Destiny 2. And I don't necessarily feel bad for you because you are a business. Okay? If you're going to go ahead and spend that kind of money, you should have audited. Maybe you would have had a better chance of succeeding the audit than the Pentagon, that apparently has failed multiple annual audits. I don't understand how. But I don't work at the Pentagon, so that's not necessarily something that I could really just talk about or reveal to you. I don't work there, okay? I'm just here upon my soapbox talking about how we have some very big things and issues that are coming up with the gaming space, because I actually agree with the take of the Black Okage. Deadass, if Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out and is mediocre, honestly, do we really care? Because we get it. A lot of games don't necessarily want to come out during the time frame of Grand Theft Auto, okay? There's probably no other game that does pulverizing controversy better than Grand Theft Auto. And so this is why I want to rag on Ubisoft one more time, because America don't necessarily want a woman to be president, okay? That is the proven fact of how Donald Trump became president twice. The fact that he even got a second term is outrageous. But it's because America doesn't necessarily want a woman to be president. And so that's why I'm saying Assassin's Creed Salem Witch Trials would have made much more sense to release underneath the Kamala administration, and Assassin's Creed Jim Crow to release underneath the Trump administration. Because with how rampant racism is now, it's like that would have I would have bought that game off principle alone, okay? But the fact that we're going ahead and we're doing this when we're proving once again that America doesn't like women, because that's exactly what the Salem Witch Trials was. America just don't like women. America just don't like women. It's the honest truth. But however, during this time frame, I just feel like, me personally, yes, Grandma, I would have went ahead and went with Assassin's Creed Jim Crow era, okay? And this is why I said that you were afraid of making money. This is why I made my prediction about Splinter Cell. Okay? This is why I am happy that Expedition 33 has won so many awards. Because honestly, you being so afraid of money, you was probably going to make this game worse than what it actually was. And that is something that I'm not entirely sure if that is something we would actually want. Just like how we wouldn't necessarily care if GTA 6 continues to get delayed, okay? It's been getting mad delays after mad delays after mad delays, and honestly, if it continues to keep up, who is really going to necessarily care, okay? Sure, it's releasing in November of 2026, but however, like, GTA 6 being delayed is creating more problems, because a lot of other game developers don't necessarily want to compete with Grand Theft Auto. But honestly, Grand Theft Auto is a jack of all trades. You get a lot of bang for your buck, but is it truly a master of what it is that it does? Like, when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, there's going to be like, there's no way in hell that any other game would probably be able to win game of the year over Grand Theft Auto 6. And if it is, it's going to create a whole lot of controversy that I don't think Jeff Keighley wants to have. But honestly, from my perspective, I think that the anarchy is something that we would very much like to have when it comes to something like that. Okay? Because imagine a game that actually wins Game of the Year over Grand Theft Auto. And it's actually better. That would be something that is absolutely wild. And it will blow the mind of so many ball and gun gamers. And as well as PS4 peons. Because they are a tier below them. I would add in Spark and Zero, but they don't necessarily have a community over there no more. So honestly, when it comes to gaming as a whole, we're entering a whole big shift. And with the deregulation of AI, things is only going to go ahead and get a whole lot worse because RAM prices are through the roof. Homeless people are digging into old PCs for these RAM prices, for RAM parts and whatnot, just because they know that the prices are up. And they know that the prices are up, it's going to be getting out of hand. Okay? And another thing, why I would go ahead and purchase Assassin's Creed Jim Crow off rip. Because that meta AI center in Memphis that's just taking up drinking water while also polluting the neighborhood, it's in a black community, okay? That was a 100% choice. That was 100% a choice. And it was 100% their choice. Okay? That is racism. That's racism. That is absolutely racism. Okay? That's absolutely racism. And you cannot convince me otherwise. So, with that being said, I've gone ahead and I said quite enough for about, say, the 24 to 25 minutes that I have been sitting here yapping. So, I would like to go ahead and end this video with, which is my birthday update video, by giving you guys an update for the channel. Okay? We are still going to try to stick to 2 videos per month. I will have some more clips for another season of Dragon Ball Xenophase, and from henceforth we will actually hear some of the tracks and motifs, light motifs that I have gone ahead and created for the series, as well as providing other different video games and whatnot. Finishing up the Need for Speed Heated playlist. We're gonna go ahead and finish that up, get up to the last level 50 so that we can be able to make the last final few contents that we need to make. And then you probably won't necessarily see any more Need for Speed Heat anymore, because at that point it's like we've gone ahead and we've made it to the finish line. We don't necessarily have anything else left to prove. Okay? And so as I close this out, I just want to go ahead and say thank you to everyone who has been watching me thus far. Thank you to everybody who subscribed, hit the like button. You can go ahead and leave a comment about your take with what world-renowned content creator the Black Okage has stated about Grand Theft Auto. And if you have any thoughts about gaming industry as a whole and how the politics does affect games as well, because the politics have upcharged on tariffs and whatnot for Mario Kart World and Nintendo Switch 2. It's going to get a whole lot worse, okay? And the thing that I would like to go ahead and say is sometimes we need the chaos in order to have people finally wake up to what is actually going on in the world. But that is all that I have for now. Okay, I'm sure we will go ahead and continue on with this conversation with Marvel Rivals on a PlayStation 4. I'm sure that would be something that would be completely fucking hilarious to see. Okay, you can go ahead and laugh at the gameplay all you like, because it's coming out in January. I'll see you there. But until then, I hope you have a very good and blessed day. And until I see you guys, go ahead and let the world know that creativity and ownership go hand in hand. I'll see you guys in January for some great and not so great Marvel Rivals gameplay. I think it's gonna be funny. I think you guys are gonna enjoy it for what it is because of the fact that we're going to go ahead and try our best to make fun of it being on a PS4.